Alrighty, folks, we're now 5-0 in our last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium page. And the good news is I've got another crowd pleaser teaser going off here for Thursday. We also went 5-1 with a push in all of my premium selections on my premium page for Wednesday. We had the Cubs, Tigers in game 1 of the doubleheader, Reds, Twins, and we also hit on a 2-team parlay. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Happy Thursday to you. It's July 4th Eve, I guess, if you will. Sure, a lot of folks are getting into some shenanigans tonight. Of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016, With that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Going to dive into that Twins-Marlins matchup, 12:10 Eastern first pitch. Minnesota's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. David Festa for the Twins, Yuri Perez for Miami. Now, Perez is still in search of his first win of the year. He's got a 0-2 record already through 16 innings of work. And out of 43 contests at Lone Depot Park, the Marlins currently have a .418 win percentage in their home games. They are struggling significantly at the plate in their own building. The Marlins are a bottom 5 run-scoring team at home, and they're facing a Minnesota squad who tends to throw well away from target field. They're allowing just 7.9 hits a game in their travels. And these Minnesota pitchers are also walking fewer batters per contest than any other staff. Now, 4 out of the Twins' last 5 on the road did stay under the total. Miami saw their last 4 straight at Lone Depot Park stay under the line. I like the Twins minus $1.20, under 8.5. Astros-Rockies, 3:10 Eastern start. Houston's $1.90, totals 11. Brandon Walter for the Astros, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now, Freeland's just 1-9 on the year. Rockies have struggled giving their pitchers run support. The Rockies strike out more times a game than any other lineup, bottom 5 in runs per game. And they're facing a tough Houston pitching staff who leads the league in strikeouts, holding their opponents to just 7.2 hits a game. And starting pitcher Brandon Walter has done a nice job this year. The lefty's got a .334 ERA, whip of 1.04. Houston games went 60% to the under in their last 10. Colorado with unders in 8 out of their last 10 themselves. I like the Astros minus 1.5, under 11. Tigers Nationals 6:45 East. Detroit's $1.55, totals 9 runs. Dietrich ends for the Tigers. Jake Irvin for Washington. And even though Irvin does have a winning record, he's certainly allowed his fair share of runs. We're looking at an ERA of 4.73, whip of 1.30. And as a staff, the Nats are allowing a handful of runs per game. They're in the bottom 3 in runs allowed per contest. And they're facing a Detroit lineup who has little problems getting on the scoreboard. They are a top 5 run-scoring team. Riley Green with 21 homers, 69 ribbies. Gleyber Torres with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. Now, the Tigers' last 4 straight on the road did get over the total. Washington games went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. I like the Tigers minus 155, over 9. Yankees, Blue Jays, 7:07 East. The Yankees are minus $1.25, totals 8 runs. Clark Schmidt for the Bombers, Chris Bassett for Toronto. Now, Toronto with overs in 3 out of their last 4 at home, 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. And out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head gatherings, the over cashed in 70% of those games. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Of course, we could see more of the same here today. Both lineups with their fair share of sluggers. The Blue Jays strike out fewer times a game than any other team. Top 5 in runs per game at home. Alejandro Kirk bats .306. Bo Bichette's the club leader in RBI. And they're facing a dangerous Yankee lineup who walks more times a game than any other roster. The Bombers are actually in the top 5 in runs per game. Aaron Judge, 31 homers, 70 RBI, currently leading the league in batting average and OPS. And Trent Grisham with 15 homers, on-base percentage in the mid-300s. And out of the Yankees' last 10 meetings with the Blue Jays, they've done a nice job against Toronto pitching. The Pinstripers averaged nearly 11 hits a game during that time frame I just mentioned. I like the over 8 runs. Brewers, Mets, 710 East. New York's $1.50, totals 8. David Peterson for New York. Jose Quintana for Milwaukee. Now, the Brewers saw 3 out of their last 4 road games get over the total. 60% of the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Mets games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves, and both lineups with their fair share of good stuff at the dish. The Mets don't really strike out a whole lot. Top 10 in walks per game at the plate. Juan Soto with an on-base percentage of .395, 20 home runs on this season. And Pete Alonso with a team best 66 runs batted in. And they're facing a Milwaukee squad who averages nearly 6 runs a game on the road. They're in the top 3 in runs per game in their travels. Christian Yelich, 17 homers, 61 RBI. Bryce Terang, on-base percentage of .361. I like the over 8 runs. Angels, Braves, 715 East. Atlanta's $1.35, totals 9. Bryce Elder for the Braves. Jose Soriano for Los Angeles. Now, Soriano's walked 45 batters, currently has a whip of 1.47. As a staff, the Angels are walking more batters per contest than any other team. They're facing an Atlanta squad who's in the top 5 in walks per game at the plate, top 10 in hits per game at home. Matt Olson, 16 homers, 56 RBI. Ronald Acuna, OPS in the thousands. Of course, as a team, the Braves are currently 24-18 at Truist Park, playing their best baseball at home. Give me the Braves minus $1.35. Guardians, Cubs, 805 East. Chicago's $1.45, totals 8.5. Cade Horton for the Cubs. Luis Ortiz for Cleveland. Now, Ortiz is almost at double-digit losses already. 4.9 record, ERA of 4.36. These Guardians pitchers are now in the bottom 10 in hits allowed per game. And they're facing a top 3 run-producing lineup in the Cubs. Dangerous lineup of sluggers. Seiya Suzuki, 23 homers, 73 RBI, most ribbies in Major League Baseball. And Kyle Tucker with 52 RBI himself, OPS of .923. Of course, as a team, the Cubs have gotten the W in 73% of their interleague home games, doing a great job against American League opponents. Give me the Cubs minus 145. Giants, Diamondbacks, 940 East. San Francisco's $1.20, totals 8 runs. Robbie Ray for the Giants. Brandon Pfaadt for Arizona. D-backs with overs in 5 out of their last 6 at Chase Field. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Of course, at the plate, the D-backs are a top 5 run-scoring team. Eugenio Suarez with 26 homers, 69 ribbies. Josh Naylor hitting .303. And out of the D-backs' last 10 meetings with the Giants, the over cashed in 70% of those games. Speaking of the Giants, these guys have been very patient at the plate this year themselves. They're actually in the top 3 in walks per game at the dish. I like the over 8 runs. White Sox, Dodgers, 10-10 Eastern start. The Dodgers are the $3 favorite, totals 9. Dustin May for the Dodgers, Aaron Savali for Chicago. Now, Savali's 0-2 with the White Sox, whip of 1.69. Now, out of 43 contests away from the South Side, the White Sox have a 9-34 record in those road games. They have yet to reach double-digit wins on the road. Their pitching staff is in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per game on the mound. And they're facing a powerful Dodger lineup of sluggers. They're actually amongst the highest run-scoring teams in the league. Shohei Ohtani, 30 home runs, OPS in the thousands. Will Smith's hitting .324 with an OPS of .972. Now, 3 out of the Dodgers' last 4 at home did get over the total. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Royals-Mariners, 10:10 Eastern start. Seattle's $1.65, total 7.5. Brian Wu for the Mariners, Seth Lugo for Kansas City. Now, Lugo's got a handful of wins on the year, ERA of 2.74. The righty's also punched out 76 batters and currently has a 1.08 whip. Of course, when it comes to the run line, the Royals are covering in over 67% of their road games. They're facing a Seattle squad who's definitely struggled against the run line themselves. Just 3-7 against the number in their last 10. Of course, at the plate, the M's have definitely struggled in their own building. Seattle's averaging only 7.2 hits a game at T-Mobile Park. When it comes to the total, Royals games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like Kansas City plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Twins minus 120, under 8.5. Give me Houston minus 1.5, under 11. I'm 5-0. My last 5 crowd pleaser teasers on my premium page. Tigers minus 155, over 9. I like the over 8 in that Yankees-Blue Jays game. Over 8, Brewers-Mets. Give me Atlanta minus 135, getting the job done against the Angels. Cubs minus 145 against the Guardians. I like the over 8 in that Giants-Diamondbacks game. Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9. And give me the Royals plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.